Yes, she wanted the glamorous life, and she got it.
One day someone comes and says in 1982, hey, Marvin Gaye wants you to play his tour, and you don't have to come and audition. Like, really? How does that happen?
And Sheila E. has been doing her thing ever since and enjoying every minute.
I feel every time I get on this stage, it is the first time I'm ever playing. And the butterflies, the nervousness, the excitement, I mean, I wouldn't change that for anything.
One of the most recognized drummers ever right now on the Pulse.
On the drums, Sheila E.
Guys, welcome to another episode of The Pulse. And this one is, they're all fun. I enjoy doing this all the time. But I was just joking with our next guest that I've been whistling, singing, humming her songs all day ever since we confirmed the interview. It is my pleasure to be joined by musician and author and so much more, Sheila E. Welcome to The Pulse.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Do you hear that a lot? I told you I've been walking around all day and I'm humming parts of your songs, and then people I walk by are finishing the song with me.
It's a wonderful thing to hear. It really is. It's you know, when you first write something coming into the business and someone actually knows your song, that's a huge honor, you know. And then when you go to perform and you see an entire audience singing your song, like the lyrics and, you know, dancing to the music, that's what you want. You want them to remember those songs.
Before we got started, I was mentioning you that I've had the opportunity to interview a couple of actors, and they go back and forth with that. Some of them are like, I don't want to be known as Urkel, you know, forever, you know, right. But you're known for something. From your perspective, even if it's a handful of songs that they know, even though they know a long career, that's still a good thing?
100%. Yeah, because I've been doing this for so long. I'm actually celebrating this year. This is my 50th year as a professional musician. I turned professional when I was 15 years old. So I just turned 65 and I'm celebrating 50 years. And if you think about all that I've done, I mean, there's so much, and that people are still honoring me in that way. This is a blessing. Happy
anniversary, I guess, as you continue to celebrate. That's amazing. That's good for you. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
People know you for different things. And we talked about some of the songs. You've been in a few movies. You have book, you do tours and philanthropy. But you go back as a musician long before some of the stuff that people may have initially known. Tell us how you got into it initially, because you're a musical family.
Yeah, my dad, Pete Escovedo, who the legendary Latin jazz artist, he's still performing now, actually, and just shot a new video. He's 87 years young and he's still going at it. So I hope to be like him. I have two brothers that play as well, Juan and Peter Michael. And I have a sister, Zena, who mostly dances, choreographs. And my mom sings and plays a little bit. We grew up in the business. So it's interesting because a lot of people ask, like, how was it for you to like play in front of an audience? But growing up in the business, watching my dad play, watching him perform, music was around us all the time. And when we would have gatherings, family gatherings, or they would have jam sessions at the house, there were tons of people in our living room all the time, like throughout the week. And so performing for our family, performing for friends, we grew up in that environment.
Before the kind of the hits as a solo artist, and before all of that happened, like, you had already worked with Marvin Gaye and Lionel Richie and Diana Ross and Herbie Hancock. So somebody, and Prince, and we'll get to that at some point, but when they come to you, that wasn't a big, well, I guess it's always a big deal, but it wasn't like your first introduction to the industry.
Growing up in the business, you meet people. My dad met Tito Puente, who became my godfather, when they were like 18 or 19 years old, something like that. I thought it was 15, but I think it was 18 or 19. And then you have these artists, these legendary Latin jazz artists coming to our home. And then growing up in the Bay Area, you have the Whispers coming over and hanging out. You have Lou Rawls and all these people, and you're growing up. My dad's in Santana, and then you have the Pointer Sisters, and then Sly Stone and Graham Central Station Tower Power. Then you're around all these people growing up in that environment, and then it continued. Then meeting George Duke, going out on tours, George Duke, meeting all of these other people that we were on these huge festivals that they do like they do now. When I was able to meet on these festivals and then end up playing with different people like Ashford and Simpson, George Benson, and at the time LTD, and you meet all of these cool artists, and then one day someone comes and says in 1982, hey, Marvin Gaye wants you to play the tour with you, wants you to play his tour, and you don't have to come and audition. Like, really? How does that happen? That's amazing. Putting in the work, and asking and begging people when no one knew who I was. Can I sit in? Can I play? I would love to. And they're like, you're a girl,
Yes.
all of that stuff.